Good morning, Year 4, and welcome to your science lesson on the 29th of January. And our learning today is to be able to use a classification key to identify animals. So to be able to be successful in this lesson, you'll be able to describe how to classify organisms, know how to use a classification key, and successfully identify unfamiliar living things. So last week, what is a living thing without a backbone called? Last unit, what acid breaks down the food in your stomach? Last term, scroll down here. What do we commonly call children's teeth? And last year, name an animal that is a herbivore. Okay, pause the video and write those down. Right, did you get it right? An animal without a backbone is an invertebrate. The acid is what breaks down the food, and it's called hydrochloric acid. The first set of human teeth are milk teeth, or more scientifically, they're known as deciduous teeth. And an animal that is a herbivore, there are lots of them, but one of them could have been a cow, a rabbit, or a rhinoceros. So can you remember what a classification key is? Do you remember the one we looked at? It was like this. And you had to start with the question at the top, and then you have two answers, yes or no, and you follow it down until you find the right answer. So very similar vocabulary to last week. The only thing I'm bringing in here is the Arctic at the very top of the Earth. Well, I should say the northernmost part of the Earth rather than the top. So classification keys can be very useful to help you identify unfamiliar plants and animals. These are animals you would find in rainforests. Do you know what any of these animals are called? Now, perhaps you already do, but imagine you don't, and let's look at how we would name one and how we would identify it. So let's take this picture of this animal. So does it have fur? Yes. Is the fur patterned? No. Is the fur orange? Yes. Is it a golden lion tamarind? So be careful to be accurate when you're asking the questions and checking, because it has a hint of orange, but is it actually orange? Probably not. So let's do it again. Does it have fur? Yes. Is the fur patterned? No. Is the fur orange? No. Does it have long claws? No. Does it have a long face? Yes, it does. Does it have a tail? No. It must be a capybara. This one, does it have fur? No. Does it have legs? No. Does it have fins? Yes. It must be a piranha. These are animals you would find in the Arctic. Do you know what any of these animals are? Let's look at this one. Does it have fur? Yes. Does it have white fur? No. Does it have horns? Yes. Does it have long fur? Yes. So it must be a musk ox. So use the classification key to help you identify and name each of these British animals. Okay, so the classification key. So we'll go back and use the classification key. Okay, so we're going to use the classification key I'm about to show you. If you accidentally got a glimpse of the answers, try not to look at those, make sure you are testing yourself properly, because there's no point just writing down the answers as there. The point of our lesson is to make sure we can use the classification key to identify. So here's our classification key. So it has to be a different one to the other ones because it's got different animals on it. So make sure you're starting at the top. So use the first one. I'll just read through. Does it have fur? I'm not going to obviously go through it because you're going to do that. But does it have a thin tail, or does it have feathers? And then you carry on down each side depending on whether it's a yes or a no. Okay, good luck on that. Pause the video and go through every animal and try and see. If you want some more animals to find, so there are more challenges, if you want to do more, please log on to your Teams account where you will see lots more animals to do. Okay. And here are your answers. So number 1 was a weasel, number 2 was an owl, number 3 was a bullfinch, number 4 was an adder, number 5 was a shrew, and number 6 was a buzzard. If for any reason you can't get onto Teams and you want to carry on doing it here, then here are lots of other animals for you to try and identify. Okay, 14 altogether. And this is the classification key that you will need for that. Okay, happy identifying. I'll just put it back one more time, but you can pause it. Okay, so happy identifying, and we'll see you next week for your science lesson. Goodbye.